Suppose S is the cuboid AB cross CD cross EF. Okay, it is also called as a rectangular box in R3. Okay, which is set up all points x, y, z in R3 such that x belong to AB, y belong to CD, and z belong to EF. Okay. Now here we will consider to define triple integral. We consider a function f defined on this cuboid S. Okay. F is bounded. Okay, and S is this cuboid. Now to define the triple integral, as you know, to define any maybe Riemann integral of function of one variable, or just as we have defined already the double integral of a function of two variable, the function which is defined on a rectangle. So the common procedure is, first step is consider the domain, then consider the partition of its edges to partition the given object. Okay, then what you do is you define the infimum supremum of given function on each of the sub part of that domain, and then you define Riemann sum, general definition of Riemann sum, then you define lower sum, upper Riemann sum, and then the largest lower Riemann sum and the smallest upper Riemann sum will give you the integral of any given function, maybe function of single variable or two variable or three variable. Okay, it will give you the definition of given integral of given function. Okay, so this is the common procedure. Okay, so here now we will consider the partition of the cuboid S, so which consists of three edges AB, CD and EF. So for that, first of all you have to partition the edges. So P1, A, B, C, D and EF. So let P1, P2, P3 be the partitions of AB, CD and EF respectively, where P1 is given as A is equal to x0. You may write here comma, or because it is an ordered set, so we have to put it as in this notation. These are different notations. Okay, so to understand. Okay, so less than and so on, and less than, suppose xi minus 1, less than xi, and less than that it is less than, say, xl is equal to, so that is B. Okay, P2 is C is equal to y0, then y1 and so on, then yj minus 1, yj and so on. Suppose this is yn is equal to D. Okay, and P3 is the partition of the third edge, that is EF. So suppose this is z0, z1 and so on. Suppose this is any kth part of the closed interval EF. Okay, so zk and so on, and suppose here is zq, which is nothing but F. Okay, so these are the partitions. P1, P2, P3 are the partitions of the three edges of this cuboid S, which is the cross product of these three. Okay, now P is equal to P1 cross P2 cross P3, as our aim is to partition the cuboid. So this Cartesian product P1 cross P2 cross P3, okay, will be the partition of the cuboid S. Okay, so where P is set of all x, y, z such that x belongs to P1, x is any of the point from this. Okay, y will be any point from P2 and z will be any point from P3. Okay, so this is how P is partition of the cuboid S. Okay, now as we have defined the partition, okay, now our aim is to divide this cuboid into its smaller parts, that is subcuboid, just as we divide interval into subinterval, rectangle into subrectangle. Okay, so here you have to divide a cuboid into subcuboids. Okay, now see, to partition a line or a line segment we require points. Already I have told you To partition a rectangle, you require lines parallel to the coordinate axis. Means actually x-axis is also a line, y-axis is also a line. So we require lines parallel to the coordinate axis. To partition a rectangle, once again see, to partition a line segment we require points. To partition a rectangle we require the lines parallel to the coordinate axis through the points of the partition P1 and P2 of AB and CD. So similarly, as a continuation of this, to partition the cuboid, okay, so cuboid is 3-dimensional, rectangle was 2-dimensional. Here you were requiring lines parallel to the coordinate axis. Okay, so here, for example, suppose we are in a room, and to partition a room, to make a partition a room, you require a plane in between. Okay, in between two parts of the room. Okay, so here, see, remember this is XY plane. Okay, so this is YZ plane, this is XZ plane. So to partition this cuboid, what we require is we have to draw, okay, draw planes parallel to, just as here we have drawn the lines parallel to the coordinate axis to partition a rectangle. Here draw planes parallel to the coordinate planes. Wait, what are the coordinate planes? XY plane, YZ plane, XZ plane. These are the coordinate planes. Okay, so that means through the points of this partition P1 of AB, P2 of CD and P3 of EF, draw planes parallel to the coordinate plane, okay, passing through the points of, either you may say passing through the point of P, or you may say passing through the points of P1, P2 and P3. Okay, so they will divide, these planes will divide cuboid S into L and Q subcuboids. I will write any general subcuboid as SIJK. Okay, where what is SIJK? SIJK is the Cartesian product of the closed interval xi minus 1 xi cross yj minus 1 yj cross zk minus 1 zk. Okay, or you may write it as it is collection of all x, y, z such that x lies between, x belong to this, y belong to this, z belong, because this is a 3-dimensional subpart of the cuboid. Okay, so its x component lies between this, y component lies between this, and z component lies between the kth subinterval from the partition of the interval EF. Okay, so this is how we have partitioned the cuboid into L and Q number of subcuboids. Okay, now as it is a 3-dimensional object, so suppose delta ijk be the volume of Sijk. Okay, now I will not write. What is, how you write the volume now? Volume, yes, length into breadth into height. Okay, so volume of this cuboid will be xi minus 1 cross yj minus length of this into width of this into height. Z is the height. Okay, so this is how you will get delta ijk, volume of the subcuboid Sijk, and this is true for every I runs from 1 to L, J runs from 1 to N, and K runs from 1 to Q. Okay, so this is the volume of any subcuboid. Okay, now as our function is bounded, function f is bounded, okay, on whole of this cuboid, it will be bounded on each of the subcuboid. Okay, so once again remember how many subcuboids of this type you will have, L and Q number of subcuboids. Okay, and as f is bounded on whole of the cuboid, so f is bounded on each of the subcuboid Sijk. Okay, so suppose now m is infimum of this function f. Okay, that x, y, z belong to S. Okay, so F is infimum of F on whole of the cuboid. Capital M is supremum of F on whole of the cuboid S. Okay, suppose Mijk is infimum of F of xyz on the subcuboid Sijk, and similarly capital Mij as usual it is the supremum, okay, on the subcuboid Sijk. Okay, then as M is the infimum of F on whole of the cuboid and capital Mij is infimum on the smaller part. Okay, so therefore what is the relation between these two numbers? Okay, so this is the smallest value of the function on whole of S. Okay, so that's why you will have this relation. This is smallest value of the function on a particular part. Okay, and this is smallest over all the cuboid. Okay, so therefore this M will be less than or equal to this, and as this is infimum value of the function, it will be always less than or equal to corresponding supremum value, and this is the supremum value of the function on a smaller part. This is the supremum value of the function on whole of the cuboid. Okay, so we will have this relation. Okay, suppose this is number 1. Okay, now what we will do is once again see all these are real numbers. Okay, and these real numbers have this type of relationship that we are going to use further. Okay, now we define the Riemann sum of the function f with respect to a particular partition. This whatever the partition that we are considering, it is a particular partition that we are considering. Okay, so S may have infinitely many partitions. For this particular partition, now what we will do is I will define the Riemann sum of the function f as I will write SFP is equal to summation, because there are 3 variables now x, y, z, so there will be 3 summations. Okay, so Tijk, f of Tijk into delta ijk. You may write here Vijk also, delta Vijk, every being the volume. Okay, so this runs from I is equal to 1 to L, j runs from 1 to n, and k runs from 1 to q. Okay, where Tijk is any point from the subcuboid Sijk. Okay, so this is the Riemann sum of function f. Okay, with respect to partition P, and it is defined as this summation. Okay, triple summation f of Tijk into delta Ijk. This is the volume of this cuboid, subcuboid, and this is value of the function f at any point of Sijk. Okay, now instead of considering value of the function, any value of the function or value of the function at any point of this Sijk, if we consider the infimum value of the function, okay, over Sijk and supremum value of the function f over Sijk, so what we get is the resulting Riemann sums. Okay, so if you replace f of Tijk, value of the function at any point Tijk, by infimum value, the resulting Riemann sum, as you know, it is called as lower Riemann sum, and if you replace f of Tijk by capital Mij, it is called as upper Riemann sum. Okay, and respectively they are denoted as S. First of all, I will define Riemann lower sum. So SFP. Okay, so this is triple summation. I will not write now every time I is equal to 1 to n, but you may write. Okay, so L to L, J, and okay, so that is small Mij delta Ijk. Okay, so J runs from 1 to say n, and K runs from 1 to q. Okay, so this is the Riemann lower sum. Okay, I have considered the infimum value of the function, and what I have is the Riemann lower sum. Similarly, you may define this Riemann upper sum. Okay, so as Mij delta Ijk. So thus I have the two Riemann sums, Riemann lower sum and Riemann upper sum. Okay. Now these two sums are any two definite numbers. Okay, because for any subcuboid its volume is definite number. Okay, some definite number, and as function is real valued and it attains its bounds, therefore Mij is being the infimum value, it is also some finite number. Okay, so this sum will be after all a finite number. Okay, so these two are so corresponding to each partition P, whatever the partition you may consider, for that partition you will get two numbers, lower sum and upper sum. Okay, now what we'll do is, so as a cuboid may have infinitely many partitions. Okay, so for corresponding to each partition you may have one lower sum, one upper sum. So we will collect, okay, all lower sums. Okay, so let SL be the set of all lower sums of function f with respect to each partition. P is a partition of S, and suppose SU is set of all upper sums such that P is a partition of S. Okay, so this is how I have collected all the lower sums, I have collected all the upper sums. Okay, now so we have written one of the relation. Okay, so as the four numbers Mij, capital Mij, and that was our relation inequality 1. Okay, now if I multiply this inequality by delta Ijk and I take the summation over Ijk, okay, so what we will get is, okay, so multiply everything by delta Ijk and take triple summation. Okay, so here will be triple summation. Okay, so I may write, I will write here, or I will write here. Okay, so triple summation small m delta Ijk less than or equal to triple summation Mij delta Ijk less than or equal to again triple summation capital Mij, okay, delta Ijk less than or equal to again triple summation capital M into delta Ijk. Okay, now everywhere I runs from 1 to L, J runs from 1 to N, and K runs from 1 to Q. Okay, now this M has nothing to do with these variables I, J, K, so I will take it outside. Okay, so suppose I take this outside, M here, and what now you will get is, okay, summation over I, J, K, I runs from some so and so, J runs from so and so, and this is nothing but volume of the Ijk subcuboid Sijk. Okay, so and I is also a variable which runs over 1 to L. Okay, so what you will get is, okay, so this sum is, overall sum will be, okay, the volume of whole of the cuboid. Okay, so sum of volume of each of the subcuboid will give you volume of whole of the cuboid. And what is the volume of this cuboid? Okay, its dimensions are b minus a, d minus c, and f minus e. Okay, so being its dimensions b minus a, d minus c, e minus f. Okay, so length, breadth, and height. Okay, so and you know how you get the volume. Okay, so this is b minus a into d minus c into f minus e. Okay, less than or equal to. Okay, now from this, what is this? By definition of lower sum, it is nothing but lower sum of f with respect to partition P less than or equal to, this is nothing but the upper sum, okay, of function f with respect to partition P, and it is less than or equal to, again, this capital M is the supremum value, it is a some constant number, so again sum of the volumes of all the subcuboids and it will give rise to the total volume of the cuboid. Okay, so it is again M into B minus A into D minus C into F minus E. Okay, so So suppose this is my number 2. Okay. Now, what does this shows? Any lower, this is any lower sum, this is any upper sum corresponding to a partition P. So a lower sum corresponding to any partition P lies between these two numbers. Okay, definite numbers. Similarly, upper sum also lies between these two definite numbers. Okay, therefore, the set of all lower sums SL, because every member of this set SL lies between these two definite numbers. Therefore, the set of lower sums SL is bounded below by this number and bounded above by this number. Okay. Similarly, the set of all upper sums is bounded below by this number and bounded above by this number. Okay. As these two sets are bounded below and bounded above, they will have obviously infimum and supremum. Okay. So largest and the smallest, or supremum and infimum. Okay. So I will now search for the supremum and infimum. Okay. So we will require the supremum of first set and infimum of second set. Okay. So the supremum of SL. Okay. Supremum of SL. Supremum SL. Okay. That means largest lower sum. Supremum of this set means largest lower sum. Largest lower sum is called as lower triple integral of function f. Okay. So suppose we denote it by this lower triple integral of f. Okay. And it is denoted like this. F, either you write it as dx, dy, dz, or you may write it as lower triple integral f, or because dx into dy into dz, again it will give you volume element, so that is dv. Okay. So largest lower sum or supremum of this set of all lower sums is called as lower triple integral or lower Riemann triple integral of a function f over a cuboid S, and denoted by this notation. Similarly, the smallest upper sum, okay, is called as upper triple integral, and it is nothing but infimum SEU. Okay, upper integral of f, okay, over S, and denoted by this notation again. Okay, so either of the notation or FDV. Okay, so this is how we define lower triple integral of a function f over S and upper triple integral of a function f over a cuboid S. Okay, now as every lower sum lies between these two numbers, okay, therefore the largest lower sum, if you have infinitely many lower sums and every lower sum lies between these two numbers, okay, so therefore definitely largest lower sum will lie between these two numbers. Smallest upper sum will lie also between these two numbers. Okay, therefore from inequality 2 with respect to this definition of lower integral and upper integral. Okay, so inequality 2 will imply now, what does this imply? This implies that m into b minus a into d minus c into f minus e. Okay, so this will be less than or equal to, this is any lower sum, Riemann lower sum. Okay, therefore, and largest lower sum will also lie between these two. So what we will get is, I will write supremum SL or LF or this. Okay, so I will write directly this. Okay, so the lower triple integral dx, dy, dz. Okay, so this will be less than or equal to any upper sum. So therefore, the smallest upper sum, that is infimum, will also lie between these two numbers. And okay, and we know lower sum less than or equal to upper sum, so again this is retained. Okay, so triple integral upper triple integral f dx dy dz, okay, less than or equal to again this number m into b minus a into d minus c, okay, so into f minus e, okay. So this is how the lower triple integral and upper triple integral of given function f over the cuboid s lies between these two definite numbers, okay, and they are well defined, okay. Now if these two are equal, if lower triple integral L of f or this notation is equal to u of f, that is this is equal to this or this is equal to this, if L of f is equal to u of f, that is this integral is equal to this integral, we say that the function f is integrable or triple integrable over the cuboid s, and as either lower triple integral or upper triple integral, it is a definite number, okay. Therefore if we say that these two are equal, means they carry some common value, some common number, okay, definite number, okay. So that definite number is called as triple integral of f over s, and it is denoted by this notation, f triple integral of f over s dx dy dz. See once again, if this is equal to this or LF is equal to EF, we say that f is integrable or Riemann integrable or triple integrable over a cuboid s, and the common value is called as triple integral or integral of f over s, okay, and it is denoted by this notation. Thus I may write triple integral of f over s is equal to this lower integral of f, okay, and which is same as upper integral of f over s. You write either dx dy dz or dv anyway, okay. So these are I have written it in short, okay. So integral of a function, Riemann integral of a function f over a cuboid s is the common value of lower triple integral and upper triple integral, okay. Now from this inequality 3, what we will get is, as these two are equal, okay, and this is the common value, so this common value will also lie between these two numbers, m into b minus a into d minus c into f minus e, and this lies between m into b minus a into d minus c into f minus e, okay. So this is how, if f is a bounded function defined on a cuboid s, which is the rectangular box AB cross CD cross EF, then its triple integral lies between infimum value of f over s into its volume and supremum value of f on s into its volume, okay. So this is how we can define triple integral of a function of 3 variables defined on a cuboid, and we can prove that it lies between these two numbers, okay. Hope you will have followed everything.